Hello everybody, I'm Rhinociart, and I was recently gifted Posca paint pens by a dear friend, and I was so intimidated at the thought of using them that I actually did thumbnails. That's right lads, we did some actual drawing planning. I will say though, cracking open these pens was extremely satisfying because I got to watch the colors slowly bleed into the nibs. Also, please ignore the angle of the videos. I was so excited because I rigged myself up an overhead view and then my dumbass put it at the wrong angle. So with these being an unfamiliar medium, I did get myself some fancier paper, and by fancier I mean it was like a linen something, 30 pound something, or I don't know, it was one of these things that I found in a cupboard. Anyway, I taped it down after cutting it into 4 distinct slices. And for once, I'm not entirely drawing just people. I'm actually drawing I'm drawing things. I'm drawing objects. It's new. I just sketched everything out with a simple colored pencil. My first drawing was of Caduceus Clay, the guy from Critical Role. I know absolutely nothing about him, I just like his aesthetic. I like the pastel colors, I like the tea and the plants, I like the fact that he's like really tall and he's got an undercut and it's pink. I mean, what's not to like? Unless it turns out he's like actually a terrible person. I don't know, I only ever listened to 2 episodes, like 1.5 episodes of Critical Role. The sketches were super rough because I just wanted to get into playing with the colors, and deciding where all the color was going to go was really tricky because I don't tend to plan my drawings, I just kind of do them. So while I was putting the blue on Caduceus, this guy's face, I was leaving gaps for where I wanted the highlight or the shading to be. Also, all the paint pens that I was working with were super neon, and I had, I think, 6 or 7 of them, so I was trying to limit the palettes I was using to maybe 3 or 4 colors, which made for some interesting combos. I found that I'd have a good color combo starting with the 2 or 3, and then as soon as I added the 4th marker, it would get kind of funky looking. Anyway, I also decided to draw a Birocratic because the Birocratics are my favorite Pokemon in anything. I mean, I also haven't played Pokemon since, like, Red. No, I played Crystal? Gold. I don't know, one of the early games that were still on Game Boys. So as I understand it, Posca paint pens are basically what they sound like. It's paint in a pen format, so it's a little bit thinner when you initially put it on the page, but it dries something like acrylic, except it doesn't have that yucky, plasticky texture of the stuff that I used in high school. The colors do go on very opaque. Apparently you can also blend them, and they actually layer quite well. I was pretty impressed with that. Like I mentioned, the color palettes gave me a little bit of trouble, so like Birocratic here was doing really well with the oranges and the reds and the yellow, like it was all good similar colors, and then I was like, what if orange background? So now I think he's laying in like a hayfield or just like the grass in the middle of the summer, something to that effect. I also decided to draw an adorable little latte because I miss going to the Glitter Bean and having sparkly, spacey lattes that taste like heaven. Likewise with the latte, I was really enjoying the colors it was composed of, but then the green background, I really wasn't digging it. And then I was running out of ideas, so I decided I was going to draw the catnip that had gone to flower on my desk. I did find that because only the red marker was quite thick, all the other ones had very small nibs, I was having a hard time getting full coverage, especially because Posca pens will pill your paper like crazy. Even though I was trying to use a higher grade paper, I definitely noticed this happening while I was drawing, so I was trying to not go over places repeatedly if I could help it. I probably should have thought out drawing the catnip, because when I was looking at the plant sitting right in front of me, I was like, that looks difficult to draw, and then I did it anyway. They look like bunnies, so that's kind of entertaining. I don't know, these flowers up close, they're kind of orchid looking, which is really interesting to me, but in clumps. They're clumps! I wasn't expecting it, but these ones actually turned out one of my favorites in the bunch. I think probably because I had that nice thick red background, so this works out well because I normally draw really small, but I think if I were to draw at this scale or bigger again, I would definitely want to get bigger Posca pens. I love putting white highlight on my drawings, and I was really impressed at how well the Posca went on, especially over top of the other colors, because, normally with whites you have to kind of layer them. These worked way better than the white gel pen that I've been trying to use on all of my drawings on this channel that have all gone to shit. I've also found over time that the Sakura gel pen that I've been using for all my white highlights yellows over time, so I've actually switched now to, I put the Posca in my bag, and I'm gonna try using that in the future and see how that goes. I didn't trust my tiny inking pens not to just peel paint off and get wrecked, so I figured I would use a bigger brush pen. I initially grabbed both a water-based and an archival ink pen, but the water-based, as it turned out, wouldn't work at all. So, I mean, it kind of worked, but I didn't trust it. So, archival ink is the way to go, guys. I definitely really liked how the line art brought all of these neon colors and crazy drawings together, but I do think it also highlighted how not great my brushwork is. I look at things like that my buddy Spooks makes, and that line art is just delicious, and I know he uses a lot of brush pens. Anyway, I'd like to get better at this, so clearly I need some practice. I also oopsied on Burbisturb's eyes. I probably should have not given him pupils, but then I was like, this looks plain, and I put pupils, and then they kept getting bigger, and I think I pulled it off, but oh boy, that's not what I wanted. And then the satisfying peelies, and I did actually rip the pages, I ripped the paper. I don't know, I always do this. So after playing with these for the first time, I've got to say I actually really like the texture of them. I really like the bright neon crazy colors, and I definitely think I want to play with these more in the future. It'd be interesting to see what one could do with more neutral colors, but also I kind of like the pop art look of the bright crazy ones, so let me know what you guys think. Have you used these before? Do you have any pro tips for me? Also, please slap the like button if you like this so I know what kind of content to make in the future. And if you want to hang out more, feel free to stubby screeby, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye!